Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Camp Content. We are going to have a blast today with our guest, the one and only Aaron Welch. Picture this: a husband, father, sports aficionado, globetrotter, even lived in Costa Rica, dog enthusiast, also me, self-proclaimed atrocious golfer. But wait, there's more to the man behind the curtain. With a background as a service-disabled U.S. Marine Corps vet, Aaron brings a whopping 23 years of digital and social media marketing experience to the table. So let's dive into that journey from launching multiple businesses, closing rounds with $5 million venture capitalist pitch, to even getting the boot from his very own company. And did I mention Aaron's prowess in steering over $1 billion in marketing investments throughout his illustrious career? So education-wise, Aaron's no slouch either. He's bagged an MBA with a marketing focus from the University of Texas on the Permian Basin and a BA from the Texas State University. Thanks to his GI Bill and Hazelwood Act benefits. I want to talk about that a little bit for sure. This guy is a real deal, boasting a treasure trove of certifications from industry giants like Google, Microsoft, Adobe, Oracle, and more. Calling himself a marketing fixer, which I also love, Aaron is your go-to guru for smashing marketing hurdles into oblivion. With a flair for high-level strategy, diagnostics, and execution, he's a secret weapon for businesses of all shapes and sizes. And what's his next professional feat, you ask? Well, Aaron's response is stay tuned for the next 20 years. And if that's not intriguing, I don't know what is. Aaron, welcome to Camp Content.
Thank you very much for the kind words, and man, when you put it like that, yeah, it's been it's never a dull moment.
I mean, amen to that. Well, so I'm really interested to know, coming out of the military. I'm from a military family. Dad's two-time Vietnam vet, so I'm hip. Coming out of the military and going straight into business, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm very interested in that journey because the military mind is not always a business mind or an entrepreneurial mind. And my dad was actually that way. They rewarded him. They saw that in him right away. And they said, you're never going to do well in the military, but we got some business stuff for you to work on. And he ended up being a career military man, but that's not an easy,
No.
That's those entrepreneurship in the military are not too, it's not peanut butter and jelly. That's for sure.
No. So yeah, joined the Marine Corps. I was going to take a year off of high school to, because I've been going to school for so long, for 15 years, if you include daycare, which I was when I was 18.
Right.
And I lasted until August before I joined the Marine Corps. So my year turned into like 3 months. Now I wanted money for college. And I knew I kind of needed a kick in the butt. I was not really, I tested well. I had good grades early on. I got, got kind of sidetracked and knew I needed a kick in the rear end. So, holy cow, that Marine Corps boot camp did it for me. I was, this is 95 to 99. So thankfully, super thankful that I was not in combat, not a combat veteran. Did manage to get myself exposed to stuff, of course, but I was an early adopter. Like I was the only guy with a computer in the barracks. I was, hustling around, making sure that everybody gave me their AOL discs so that I could have as many minutes as possible. And yeah, actually got my first computer financed at a discount from a local computer store. So the trade-off was I would go into local chat rooms and mention their name in the chat. So like Goofy in the late 90s, like I was an influencer back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of wild and kind of fell into digital marketing. Got a sales job at a digital marketing company, mall.com. So
oh my God,
that far back.
Right.
And yeah, started doing well immediately because I knew the internet. I was good with the interwebs and linked up with the people that were generating the traffic for the website. And that was it. Like I was hooked. That was much more fun than sales because it was a puzzle and it was so new. Like it was all trial by error. It was all figuring it out. And that's where I got hooked, and that's where I started doing paid search before Google. So this was back in Find What and GoTo, which became Overture, which became Yahoo. I've been around a long time, digital marketing wise. I've seen things change 100,000 times. So it's always fresh. Again, never boring. Definitely never static. Holy cow.
Indeed. So let's talk a little bit about your business now. So how many employees make up your company, or is it just you?
So technically it's just me. However, I have a group of, dedicated, self-employed freelancers, in different specialities. So, I know good web design. I'm out there doing stick figures. I can't design anything. I know enough code to be dangerous. If you want to talk about basic or COBOL, I can do that, but no, I see code and I can read it, but I just glaze over. So website design, development, I have people who write much better than I do, although I do as much writing as I can, stuff like that. I've got people, especially delegating more. So here's some keyword research guidelines, go do the research. Here's some, image guidelines, go, find or create the images, stuff like that, so that I can work more on, sales strategy, interfacing with clients. The more fun stuff.
And beneficial for your time and expertise for sure. And yes. The company is located in Chicago, but where are your clients mostly?
I don't have a local client. I just moved here like 5 months ago, but yes, based in Chicago. We've got clients all over the U.S. Local, state, regional, national, California, Wisconsin, Florida, New York, Texas, handful of Texas because I'm a native Texan. So I've got strong roots there. Just all over.
And who is your ideal client? Like, what is your best client avatar of the people that you work the best with, from personality to industry?
Personality wise, super cool. Not obsessive. Honestly, business owners and marketing leaders who are open, who know that they don't know more about marketing, and that's why they're hiring for help and for guidance. I enjoy working with smaller businesses, so 1 to 5 million, with the goal of getting them to 10 million and beyond. Just because I have the enterprise experience working with and for, Cisco and IBM and Google and Microsoft, where you can be doing absolutely fantastic work, generating great results. And literally this morning I saw where Google was laying off more people. Microsoft doing the same, Cisco doing the same. I actually have a bunch of friends who just got caught up in the multiple rounds of tech layoffs. Doing great work, generating hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's really why I like working with smaller businesses, because it feels more meaningful. You get to really feel the impact for the organization and the individuals involved. You get to build a personal relationship, which I'm very big on. Those businesses, obviously veteran-owned businesses, I want to work with all of my fellow veterans, and nonprofits. Love working with cause-based, mission-based organizations. Again, on the smaller side, because you get to feel that impact. You develop relationships. You're doing good work instead of like just making a tech bro more money.
More money.
It's just more meaningful.
I can dig it. I agree. So let's jump right into, some of this technical stuff. I know AI is like taking over everything, right? And
Yes.
it being used in marketing circles, and people are getting laid off because of AI, which I suspect they'll be getting offers to come back when people realize that AI can't solve all their problems. But
Yep.
when it comes to nonprofits and small businesses, right? So I think we should aim the conversation towards them because that's really who you like working with. And I think nonprofits really could use a lot of help because they're very limited in who they can hire and experience and money and budget, and they're not
Yep.
always thinking about marketing, right? So like it for the people who are involved in nonprofits, like how do you interpret like AI in that landscape, and how could a nonprofit really benefit from using AI in their marketing efforts?
Right now, AI is basically, it's an umbrella term. It's basically two kind of flavors: traditional, where it's outputs based on input and rules and kind of, what chatbots were or are, decision trees, that sort of thing. The newer stuff where everybody's super excited about AI is just generative output based on input and rules, and it's new data, but it's all based on what gets input. So that's
Right.
why there's a lot of ethical concerns. Like if it's a bunch of white guys doing all the input, then you're going to get a bunch of white guy output.
Bias. Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to get your implicit bias, that sort of thing. So, but how that can be used for small businesses and nonprofits, AI can automate a lot of things. So a lot of, redundant tasks. I actually think that at some point AI is going to replace a lot of the virtual assistant work. Some of it, at least, not all of it, because AI right now is the next silver bullet. That's why everybody's chasing it, just like chatbots or, marketing funnels or CRM
Texting.
or
Yeah, exactly.
it's the next silver bullet. There is value in it. I use it every day. I use it for research. I use it for generating images. That's a big thing. There's a lot of studies out there, like people do not like or trust stock photography on websites, so stop using it. AI generated, computer generated or crafted, developed images work better. I think they can be more expressive. Like I think they can be worth 2,000 words instead of just 1,000 words. So that's a place I use it. I'll use it for summaries. So and it's bad. Like I use it for book summaries sometimes. Like I'm interested in a book, give me a summary of this book, and I'll kick it out. Now that's helpful for me, but it's kind of not cool because those authors deserve that money and those royalties, which is another concern. You've seen actual lawsuits about that recently. So there's good ways to use it. Again, automation, bookkeeping. It can be used for outreach. I use it for outreach to connect with folks. That's how we got connected, Molly. Spoiler alert. So there's a lot of good ways that it can be used, and it just streamlines things. And especially for small businesses, nonprofits, cash strapped, you want to be more efficient. This is a tool in the tool belt, and it's a newer tool in the tool belt that can make those organizations more efficient.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, systems and automations are like the deal breaker in any business, right? And so
Yes.
if you're a business or a nonprofit, which I would venture to say a lot of nonprofits are operating in a bit of a dated space, right? This is how they've always done things. This is how they're going to do things. And it's like, yeah, but it's not necessarily working, right? And so if you can reduce some friction and redundancy in your organization by using AI and automations and building those systems, why the heck wouldn't you? Like, why don't you use your talent for what they're meant for, and not things that could be automated by a robot, right? So I'm with you. I'm with you there. When a nonprofit or a small business is thinking about like where to allocate their marketing budgets, where do you think is going to get them the most impact and ROI in 2024?
So unbiased content, number one. And don't use AI for content, because guess what? That is just a synthesis of previous works, and it's totally unoriginal. It might look original, but it's just like the most compromised, middle of the road thing. You want your content to display your mission, your point of view. Have a point of view. Oh my God, you've got to stand out. And hey, not everybody's for everybody, for sure. But if you put yourself out there, you put your business has a personality. People are going to be either turned off, which is fine. You don't want to work with them anyway.
Exactly.
And people who are attracted to that, they're going to click with you. So content, because content can be used on your website. It can be used in social media. It can be used in emails and outreach. So content is really like the engine for all the other important things. Content. And not for volume. Don't post every day if it's garbage or if it's not compelling.
Yeah.
Like, it's way better to post once a week and have a really great story, a really great outcome, a really great point of view on something and you can use that again, video, website, social media, podcast, whatever the case may be.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think Gary Vee may have sold us the wrong pie for a little while with this whole make 10,000 pieces of content every day, because, and I've talked to some of my clients about this, you're training people to ignore you.
Yeah. Well, the world is different. We're operating differently. 10, 15, 20 years ago, I was quoting Gary Vee, because 10, 15, 20 years ago, we weren't as busy. We didn't have as many marketing messages coming at us.
Right.
So it was easier to gain attention.
Exactly.
Social media has kind of derailed a lot of that, just because now, instead of businesses putting out content, everybody's putting out content. So instead of 20 or 30 or 50 good content creators, there's a billion. So volume is not the game anymore, even though that's like an SEO ranking piece. Good volume gets consumed fully and shared and talked about. That good content is where it's at.
Content is queen. That's what I say. The kings have had enough. We're sick of you. Nothing personal. So what is your, with us, we have a go-to, because I love what you're saying. And I say the podcasts are a Trojan horse of business development, because it's 3 waves, right? You get the relationship, which is the business development. We get to hang out. We get to know each other. We get to understand each other's businesses. That's a relationship. And I think relationships close deals. And then the second wave is SEO, right? Yep. It's all the blog posts for the website. It's all the keyword, description, keyword, right?
Yes.
And then the third wave is the social proof and the social media and the audiograms, which, for crying out loud, nobody should be making those, because nobody actually listens to them anymore. Yeah. I mean, come on, the data's there, but you get what I'm saying. The graphics, the reels, the shorts, all that stuff. That's the third wave, right? It's all just like a Trojan horse of content, but it's really about business development. I think a lot of people move backwards. They start with the social proof, and they're just interviewing anybody who will say yes. And I said, well, no, interview people you want to do business with. You know what I mean? And then you get the other stuff. You get the SEO. You get the social media. So that's, I'm always like podcast. What is, in your world, what is your go-to thing that you have done with your clients that works for just about all of them?
Oh, God, it's so much blocking and tackling. It's so much basics and fundamentals. It's shocking to me, but it's not shocking to me. Submitting your website to Google to be indexed so that people can find it. Setting up analytics and reporting so that you know what's going on in your website and you can figure out what marketing works and what doesn't. It's a lot of blocking and tackling, especially, again, smaller businesses, nonprofits. They don't know that they need to go claim their Google My Business profile, even if they don't have a physical location, because it's the #1 Google ranking signal.
It really is.
Basics.
It really is. Yeah.
I love it when I get a new client and they've got, newer business, and I just set them up with the basics, proper SEO, proper hosting. Get off of GoDaddy, please. Hope they're not a sponsor, but
No.
not yet. But just the basics, and then all of a sudden, they're like, I got twice as many leads as I did from last month in like 30 days, like the basics. And then you can have more opportunity to do better content.
Right.
Google Ads, paid media, it's not nearly the ROI that it was, 5, 10, 15 years ago. So, social media is one of the best because there's not a lot of cost involved. It's time and it's content based. Right. So you can do a lot of outreach. You can, again, kind of display that expertise and that mission and the results of the work. And all of that sometimes can be consumed in, a minute, 3 minutes. Like you can get your whole story and point across with a success story, like video case study. That can be part of a reel. You can do a 15-second reel, compelling, route people to that story, which is a 3-minute video, and you can close business.
Yeah, agreed. And I think people really kind of miss out on the basics. And, we also build websites, and that kind of just came out of necessity, and then it blossomed, and then turns out I love websites. It's kind of like an adult coloring book for me. I actually really enjoy it. I get to move stuff around and make it pretty and make it make sense. But I'm always shocked and appalled by how many people's websites have no follows on them, and they haven't been into. It's like you paid this company $10,000 and they gave you a website. And that's all they gave you is a website. They didn't do Google Tag Manager. They didn't set up your analytics. They didn't do any of that stuff. And you can't even find them on Google. And it's like, hey, man, if your SEO is done right, and we're a testament to this. I get a couple, 2-3 discovery calls a week from people who want podcast booking services and I have no ads. I have no ads running. But I'm on that page 1 underneath the ads. Right. And people come to my website and they say, I just looked at a bunch of them and yours is the only one that makes any damn sense. I can't even figure out what the hell these other people are offering me, what I'm getting, or how much it costs. And yours is all right there. So I just have a few questions. This is all 100% organic because my team set up the website the right way. And so I think people really need to before you try to go viral on TikTok, make sure your Google Tag Manager is set up and you don't have no follows on your website and your analytics are connected. One of the greatest tools I've discovered recently is an app called Session Rewind, and it records people's screens when they come up. Holy crap. I had a video with sound that was automatically playing on my website. This is like the cardinal sin of all sins. I know. I feel like I should be punished somehow for this. And I didn't know until I was watching that. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I got a video with sound playing. But it's fascinating to me to watch how people linger. I actually changed my website because it wasn't loading fast enough and I could see I was losing people. So, just really starting with the basics, I think, is fantastic advice for people, especially if they don't have a lot of budget, right? So, because
so much of all the basics, free. It's literally free. Just doing it right.
Just do it right. And don't be fooled by the boutique people. And also stop hiring your son's college roommate because, they mean well. But, or the old guy who's been doing websites for 100 years who still is trying to build stuff. It's like, hey, that worked in 94, but dude, it doesn't work anymore, right? Hire the right people to do it or do a deep dive because a lot of the stuff you're talking about, if you really spent 3 days, you could learn enough of it to get your website at least showing up on Google. You don't need to be an SEO expert to make some basic improvements, I feel like. Okay, I have one more question for you, and then we're going to get into our speed round. So I would love to talk about one big campaign or program that you ran for a client that was your biggest success and got the biggest results.
Biggest success and biggest results. Okay, so I'm going to humble brag a little bit. Working with smaller businesses, I routinely run into the problem of doing productive marketing and then overwhelming their capacity. So we have to dial back marketing. So every time that happens, I'm both proud and frustrated because I got them the business that they wanted, which is great. And then their systems aren't, or their capacity isn't where it needs to be to keep it going. So I love that and I hate that.
Right.
Just straight up ROI or return on ad spend. Okay, there's two. One of them, I don't know if I'm going to name brand names because they're not paying me. There is so I'm not, but there is a business process automation software company, offices globally. If you search for BPO, they're probably going to be in the top 2 or 3, based in India, where they were literally generating user trials. It was thousands of dollars per user trial. They hired me. I came in. They had somebody locally approving all of the marketing. I stopped asking for approval and just did stuff, like set up analytics, start tracking conversions, appropriately use keywords, set it up with a free trial instead of a paid trial. Like nothing that's earth shattering. And boy, their free trial adoption went up over 100x. Their their trial to user conversion went up over 100x. The return on ad spend was infinity. I took their previous CPA was in the thousands, like 1,500 per. I got it down to $69 per.
Wow.
So super proud of that one. And then, unfortunately, they took their marketing in-house. They hired somebody who worked at Google, no less, to manage their paid media. And now they spend next to nothing. And paid media is like their 7th driver of leads. And their volume is down like 1,000%.
So they should have stuck with you. They should have stuck with you.
Yeah. And then another one working with, a very large Fortune 50 networking / SaaS / God, they do everything. They keep acquiring people. Logo kind of looks like the Golden Gate Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So in charge of demand generation for their value-added resellers, where their value-added reseller program was generating 0 leads or 0 sales. Came in, marketing fundamentals, tracking, redid all the campaigns. This was paid. This was SEO, developing good landing pages, developing good marketing assets. And at the end, before I got reorged out with 300 other members of the marketing department for that CEO turnover, we got up to 96-1 return on ad spend for the first year revenue.
That's amazing.
So, and that was taking advantage of brand terms for the value-added resellers, going through and getting them all approved for Google to use. The OEM's brands, the OEM's products, software solutions, and lo and behold, they don't want to. Customers don't want to deal with the end company. They want somebody to implement those solutions. So they were making money on the software, on the products, and then $2 for service for every $1 of software products sold. So those are two big ones right there.
It's amazing. That's amazing. Those are impressive numbers for sure. All right, so let's jump into this speed round. I got a handful of these for you.
All right.
And we'll crank through these as quick as we can. So, all right, number one, what futuristic marketing trend excites you the most for 2024 and why?
Interesting enough, AI. Again, the generative algorithm output. Just because, again, I think the opportunity is to automate a lot of manual processes, and it's going to give people the opportunity to be more efficient, even though we're more efficient than we've ever been in human history. We can be even more efficient. So yeah, that's my number one.
Awesome. Number two, what social media is your guilty pleasure?
I'm not a big X fan. I never have been. You can see the gray hair. There's some Facebook there. I probably spend the most time on LinkedIn because everything I do is, business to business and business service. So, I'd like to see LinkedIn less spam content related. All the canned content, just stop with the canned content, please. If somebody else is producing it and giving it to their resellers, and then I see 4 people post the same thing, the same graphic and everything, like I unfollow those people.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's crazy.
Don't do that.
I won't do that. Okay, number 3. Can you name or name one trend that you think will die and why? I think you just did.
Yeah, hopefully canned content, because it's garbage. Yeah,
I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, all these platforms penalize you for duplicated content. So anyway,
well, that's the other thing. But all of those people producing that content, and it's like, insurance companies, mortgage companies, stuff like that, realtors, where I'm not bagging on those folks. They're doing what they're told. They're doing what they're taught. But the tools like that is not a real tool.
They're not great. Okay, and the last one, if you could work for any company, what would it be and why?
Mine. Oh, wait, I should have thought about that more introspectively. I'm sorry. I love being self-employed, freelancing, because I don't have to, and this goes back to jobs as a kid growing up and being in the Marine Corps. I really, bristle at people who are older than me or positioned higher than me who don't know as much as me, telling me
what to
do, or just not prioritizing my time most effectively. So I get to do that. I get to go pick up my kids from school every day and make breakfast every day, and still take care of my clients, and get to do stuff like this where you're not going to be able to do that. And if I end up having a bad client, I can fire them. I don't have to be subject to bad clients like I was bad managers.
Agreed.
That is so freeing. I encourage everybody to do that.
That's right. If you got a bad client on your roster, let this be a sign that you should fire them, because
life is too short to work with mean people, and it just sucks your energy out, and there's so much demand that you find a good client.
Exactly. No need for all that. So, all right. So now let's head into our real or fake segment of the show. And I'm going to name off some podcast names, and you're going to tell me if you think they're real or fake. All right. So,
okay.
Number 1, Content Conundrums Unleashed.
That's wild. I bet it's real, though.
It's fake.
Okay.
I'm getting really good at these.
It was confusing. That's why I was in a conundrum myself.
It was unleashed right here, Content Conundrum, right before our very eyes. Okay, number 2, Velocity of Content.
That's probably real.
It's real.
Yeah.
The ROI Rendezvous Podcast.
Boy, that's corny, but that's probably real.
It's fake.
I
know. The Baller Lifestyle Podcast.
That is absolutely real.
Yep. And then the last one,
I'm going to say fake because I haven't said fake yet.
Hey, you know what? It's what the irony is. Everybody gets them all wrong.
Man,
that's what makes it more.
This is not. I would be sent back down to the minors on this one.
Hey, you know what? It's what the irony is. Everybody gets them all wrong. That's what makes it makes it more fun for me because everyone gets them wrong every single time. But there's a lot of ridiculous podcasts out there and podcast names, so it's an endless supply of content for me, honestly. All right. So before we go, I have one last questioning. It's the wild card question. Given your knack for navigating highs and lows in the marketing world, if you were to create a superhero persona based on your marketing skills, what would your hero name be and what extraordinary marketing powers would they have?
Oh, man.
I know.
Okay. My super... I'm going to think about the superhero name for a second, but the superpower would be resiliency, because everybody needs a healthy dose of resiliency, especially with highs and lows and things so far out of your control. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I had a business go bankrupt, 2007 to 2009 because of the market.
Right.
Tons of businesses failing now because of COVID and the market, and tons of stuff out of your control.
Right.
So resiliency, it needs to be something like flashier than resiliency, man. It's a bit on the nose. This is why I don't do design and development.
I'm trying to think of something like robo resilience. No, that sucks too. I'll come up with something.
Man, that is so. It's got to be. See, this is where creative comes in.
Hey, we'll come up with something.
Yeah, but exactly. I mean, the name of my agency is Lift Digital Marketing. Like, again, very on the nose.
Right.
My consultancy is Aaron M. Welch Marketing Consultant. So I'm not your naming guy. That's for sure.
Right. You're hilarious. Well, Aaron, we got to wrap up because I got 1 minute left here. But thank you for coming on the show today. It was really nice hanging out with you, and thanks for being so resilient and bobbing and weaving and creating all these opportunities for people and for sharing this information today. It was really helpful. I enjoyed spending some time with you. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Molly. Enjoy Puerto View for me.
I will. Aaron used to live in Costa Rica, so we have that in common. But, all of Aaron's links are below in the show notes. So you can find his website, his discovery call links, all the good stuff that you could possibly want. And Aaron's got a money-back guarantee on his services. So I think you should dig into that a little bit when you have some time. So on that note, thank you so much for tuning in to Camp Content. Hopefully you find these episodes informative or funny, or maybe both. You never know. We'll get one of those things going. And until next time, be excellent to each other, and I will see you guys on the internet. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Camp Content. This is Molly.
And this is Matt.
And we are Heartcast Media, a.k.a. Camp Content, and we appreciate all of your support. If you found this content valuable, please comment on social media, LinkedIn, wherever you find us, and we will make sure to comment back.
And be sure to go on and subscribe and like on your favorite platforms, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, you name it. Leave us that subscription. Leave us that good review.
We'll love you forever. So until next time, be excellent to each other, and we'll see you next week.
Produced by Heartcast Media.